Did you know that third-party data brokers can charge you upwards of $50 just to show you a single public court document? Seriously, have you ever found yourself needing to look up a legal case? Maybe you're researching a property dispute, doing a quick background check on a sketchy contractor, or even just looking into some local history, only to hit a massive, frustrating paywall. You type a name into a search engine, and suddenly you're bombarded by all these shady sites demanding your credit card information for a quote-unquote premium background report. It's incredibly frustrating. But welcome to this explainer, where we are going to completely demystify the process of navigating Dauphin County's digital court records without spending a single dime.
You might just assume that finding official legal records means you have to shell out for those exorbitant fees or maybe even hire an expensive private investigator. The whole system can kind of feel like an impenetrable fortress that's specifically designed to keep the average citizen out. But is that actually true? Are you really required to pay just to see what's happening in your own local judicial system?
Well, the great news is that you absolutely can find these records for free. There is a massive wealth of public information right at your fingertips, provided you understand the specific pathways to access them. As we'll see, the records are completely publicly available, but they aren't all just kept in one giant, easy-to-Google filing cabinet. You really have to know the architecture of the system to get what you need.
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll quickly cover understanding court records, the dual-track architecture, a step-by-step online walkthrough, troubleshooting common challenges, and we'll wrap up with ethics and responsible use.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, understanding court records and exactly what documents you're legally allowed to access.
Before we just start clicking through databases and frantically typing in names, we need to establish a clear baseline of what we're actually searching for. It's super easy to confuse different types of government documents. According to the Pennsylvania Code, a court record is a very specific judicial document. It represents the official business of the court system. This is distinctly different from, say, a general law enforcement arrest file from the police, or a vital health record like a birth certificate. We are talking about dockets, which are essentially chronological indexes of a case, as well as pleadings, official orders, and judgments. Basically, these are the official footprints a case leaves behind as it travels through the justice system.
Moving right along to Section 2, the dual-track architecture. This is all about navigating the split road of Pennsylvania's record systems. Now, this brings us to absolutely the most common point of failure for researchers, whether you're a total novice or a seasoned pro. People constantly assume all records live in one magical unified database. Nope. Because of the way Pennsylvania's judicial administration evolved over time, there's a distinct split. It's literally a dual-track system. You have to take the state path for criminal matters and the local county path for civil matters. So if you're looking for a criminal docket or a traffic ticket, you must use the state-level Unified Judicial System, or UJS, web portal. But if you're hunting for a civil complaint, a divorce record, or an estate probate right here in Dauphin County, you have to go to the local prothonotary portal managed locally in Harrisburg. If you try searching for a civil lawsuit on the state criminal portal, you're going to get 0 results, and vice versa.
So why are we even allowed to see these at all? Well, it's vital to remember that under Pennsylvania's legal framework, there is a presumption of access. Section 3.0 of the Public Access Policy legally obligates record custodians to grant you visibility into these files. Now, sure, certain things like juvenile records or highly protected identities are redacted or sealed, but the default stance of the Pennsylvania judiciary is transparency. The doors are legally open to you.
And we really have to clarify a trap that so many folks fall into right here. Local county courts do not, I repeat, do not issue official statewide criminal background checks. If your employer needs a background check, that's what's called a criminal history record, and that is maintained by the Pennsylvania State Police through their patch system. What you're searching for on the UJS portal is a criminal court record. That's simply the local Dauphin County Judiciary's documentation of how a specific case progressed through their courtroom. They serve totally different legal purposes, so don't get them mixed up.
Let's get into the real meat of this explainer in Section 3, our step-by-step online walkthrough. We'll execute searches on both the state and local portals.
All right, let's put this into practice and see how it builds into an actionable step-by-step process you can use right now on your phone or computer. We'll start with the state track. If you're looking for criminal court records, following these precise steps on the UJS portal is your absolute simplest path to success.
First, navigate over to the UJS case search page. Now, while you can search by a citation number or a police incident number, selecting participant name from the drop-down menu is by far the easiest method. Crucially, and don't skip this, make sure you filter the county to Dauphin. Otherwise, you're searching the entire state of Pennsylvania, which is a mess. Then just select criminal as the docket type. Hit search and boom, you'll be able to view the public docket sheets and court summaries absolutely free. Conversely, what if you want to look up a civil lawsuit or maybe a family law docket? You are on the local track now. You'll need to visit the Dauphin County Protha Notary's specific portal. And listen closely because here is the ultimate secret to avoiding fees. Look for and click the Guest Access or Search as Guest link. So many people see a login screen and just assume they need a paid subscription. You don't. As a guest, you can enter the participant's name and review the alphabetical indexes and civil docket sheets all the way from November 2001 to the present, all without ever touching your wallet. Okay, let's move to Section 4, Troubleshooting Common Challenges. Because let's face it, technical hurdles and search errors are gonna happen. Even with the perfect roadmap and the right portals, you might hit a few digital speed bumps. Government tech can be, well, a little finicky. If your screen is blank or the records just aren't loading, running through this rapid-fire technical checklist is going to solve almost all of your access issues. First off, the UGS portal has strict security, so your browser absolutely must support TLS 1.2. Second, and honestly this is the biggest one, disable your pop-up blockers. When you click to view a docket sheet, it actually generates as a PDF in a completely new window. If you have a pop-up blocker turned on, literally nothing will happen and you'll just think the site is broken. Also, it helps to know your prefixes. MJ means it's a magisterial district court case, which is usually lower-level offenses or small claims. Meanwhile, CP stands for common pleas, which is the main trial court. And please consider this a major public service announcement. Watch out for this incredibly common trap. Researchers often try to use standard Pennsylvania right-to-know law forms and fire them off to the county's open records officer or the DA's right-to-know officer. But here's the thing. The right-to-know law generally does not apply to judicial records like divorce decrees or criminal dockets. If you submit that standard form, your request will flat out be denied. You absolutely must use the specific case records public access policy form and direct it to the correct court custodian. Using the wrong form literally just wastes your time and the county's time. Wrapping things up with Section 5, Ethics and Responsible Use. Because understanding your responsibilities when handling public data is absolutely crucial. Having free, instant access to this kind of powerful, sensitive public information naturally comes with some pretty significant ethical and legal responsibilities. As the official UJS disclaimer states right there on their homepage, you must not use these free portal searches as a substitute for an official, legally compliant background check, especially if you're making employment or housing decisions. Doing that can actually violate the Criminal History Record Information Act and subject you to civil liability, which nobody wants. Also, just as a quick disclaimer from us, the information presented in this explainer is strictly for educational purposes and should definitely not be considered legal advice. Always consult a real legal professional if you have specific legal issues. So there you have it. We've covered the core definitions, that vital difference between the state and local tracks, the step-by-step clicks to actually get you the documents, and the ethical rules of the road. We really hope this explainer has empowered you to bypass those expensive, sneaky data brokers and navigate the Dauphin County court system with total confidence. Now that you hold the keys to this dual-track architecture, what historical curiosity, local research project, or personal matter are you going to responsibly search for first? Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and happy researching.